Hello everybody, this is Paul Alster with you at Sportsbet TV, and a very warm welcome along as I look forward now to the racing across Britain and Ireland on Saturday, the 25th of June, where there's some very good meetings. Newcastle and Curragh are the ones in particular that take our interest. The others, while they're decent tracks, have not really hit the mark, and I'll come to that in due course. But of course, there's quite a lot to talk about. I have 4 selections for you for this Saturday, so look out for those. If you happen to be new to the service, then why not join the nearly 7,000 subscribers and just subscribe for free at the button just below this screen, and you'll be kept in touch with my thoughts on racing and, of course, the tips that are offered free on this particular service. Now, of course, we join you for the first time since the end of Royal Ascot. And, well, as they say in the beautiful game, it was a game of 2 halves, wasn't it? We were absolutely flying, really, all the way through to the Gold Cup, in which we very nearly had the winner. Mojo Star only just run out of it, recommended at 16, so hope you're on each way. The first 2 days included Brad Sell, that terrific 8-1 winner of the Coventry. On day 2, we had Eldar Alderhoff that I put up at 13-2 early. It was smashed off the boards, all sorts of prices. I know some of you weren't on at that price, but were on at the likes of 11-2, 5-1. I think he went up at 5-2 or something silly. And of course, he won really well in the Queen's Vase. But on top of that, in the first few days, we had each way success, 33-1 loose sail, so nearly pulled it off in the St James's Palace Stakes. Spirit of the Bay, 16-1. Astro King, 17-2. Of course, Mojo Star. After the Gold Cup, though, things went a little bit pear-shaped. Let's be honest, particularly day 4 was lousy. I mean, the horses all ran very poorly, way below expectations. And on the final day, the only horse that managed to run into the money for us was Summergownd, recommended 25-1 each way. So what did that mean? It meant that overall, to the recommended £10 each way bets, the prices flagged up, a £61 profit. So it was certainly worth the ride. And it means that over the course of June, at the time of this recording on Friday morning, and ahead of this final June bulletin, we're actually at a marginal loss over the month of June of £19 going into the final bunch of tips this Saturday. But this bulletin is actually the last of my year 2 selections, because this is the end of our 2nd year of tipping since we started way back at the beginning of July 2020. And to be honest, if you've been with us from the start, thanks for sticking with. It's been a great ride, hasn't it? I mean, some marvelous highs, a few bare periods, but overall terrific profits. Year 1 to the end of June 2021 provide us with an each way profit to the recommended £10 each way stakes of £1,886. So that was absolutely marvelous. And of course, it wasn't just about the big price winners at 80-1, 60-1, and plenty of others in that first year. But it was also about lots of places and place doubles and trebles that kept things going. But it was always going to be difficult to reach that same level year 2, but we've done well. And at the time of this bulletin, excuse me, we show a profit overall of £918 for year 2. It would be great to try and increase that with this final bulletin, of course. And in the last year, we've seen winners at 33-1, 25-1, 20, 16, 14s. We've had doubles at 95-1, 230-1, 356-1 as well, not so very long ago. And of course, loads of place doubles, trebles, and even a place 4-timer we had not that long ago. So it means that over the 2 years together, if you'd have been having your £10 each way nominal stake on all my selections recommended each way, you would be showing a profit at this point of £2,804. Now, to my way of thinking, I'm not trying to skin the bookies and become a billionaire. I just want to enjoy my racing, hopefully show a profit, and end up enjoying the racing over the course of a season or a year, and it not having cost me anything. And that's what's happened, and that's what will have happened to you if you've been with me throughout the periods. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen as well, as we'll move on next month into year 3. Now, I'm going to be giving you my tips for Saturday in just a few moments' time, but I have some important news for you. And it comes in some part in response to the points that have been made by a number of correspondents in the comments section about the upload times of the videos and the fact that some of the suggested prices have disappeared on occasions and gone. Of course, that's very true. It's also true that sometimes the prices have drifted out, but of course, there's no complaints about that. Now, there are technical reasons why sometimes the videos take a while to reach you, but also I think the markets move a great deal as well. And even if you're tipping on the morning of the race, as we know, you can get a real steamer that can change things completely. So I can only give you my idea of how the market stands at the time I'm talking to you, which is why I always say to you at the time of this recording, because it is a movable feast. Now, because of this, we're looking forward. We're really very excited here at Sportsbet that we're going to be offering a live stream service. So you'll be able to hear my tips in real time, and you'll also be able to send me messages in real time as well, which I can respond to and discuss points that you raise as and when you raise them. So we're going to have a really interactive type of new program, which we'll be telling you about. It will be for a small fee, but really very nominal, just to help things along. And I think a lot of you will get a great deal out of it. It will also give me the opportunity to focus more time on picking the horses, hopefully, that are going to help you show profits over the period. Now, there's going to be a lot more news about this. It'll be coming up, I think, in the next few weeks, and we will keep you posted for what is going to be a real value-added opportunity to take on the bookies and find some really good price winners and have plenty of shouts and exciting times in the year ahead. So I hope many of you are going to stick with me and be prepared to move over and join me for that new service. It doesn't mean, by the way, I won't be tipping here for free at Sportsbet. I will still be giving some tips for free on this service. But if you want to get my full thoughts, then later on in July, you'll have to join me on the other service where there'll be just a nominal fee, which I think will be more than affordable for just about everybody. Okay, so that's the update. Some exciting times, and I'm really looking forward to having this interaction with you. I'm sure you'll be trying to trip me up and all sorts of things, and a few people will have this to say and that to say, but I think we've got a great community of people that love their racing and love trying to find winners at good each-way prices, and this is the right place to be. Right, let's move on. 4 selections Saturday, 3 of them at Newcastle and 1 at the Curragh. Now, a point here which is making life a little bit more difficult over the last year in particular, is the dearth of runners. The bookies, to a great extent, are bleeding British racing, in particular dry, by too much racing and not putting enough money into prize money. And that's resulting in very small fields. So after having looked at Newmarket, where out of the 7 races, only 1 offers an each-way betting opportunity for 3 places. At Windsor, there were only 2 races with betting opportunities for 3 places. And at Chester, there are a few each-way handicaps, but nothing of much interest at all, with very small fields. Those 3 meetings are, for me, immediately discounted. I'm not looking at them. So I've focused on Newcastle and on the Curragh. The Curragh, of course, where there's much better prize money and normally a great many more runners, but of course a big day at Newcastle as well. And my first selection is at Newcastle in the 225. It is the Group 3 Chipchase Stakes. It's over 6 furlongs. There are 12 runners, and of course they race on the flat at Newcastle these days on the Tapater, which this Saturday is forecast standard to slow. Now, the market really does revolve around one particular horse here in this 225, and that is the very exciting William Haggar's trained Sense of Duty. Now, this 3-year-old is 3 from 4, 2 from 2 this year, winning a Redcar Novice over 6 furlongs in April, and then last time out, beating Flotus by a neck in a listed 6 furlong contest at Haydock. So very progressive form, but what's really got people excited is the fact, of course, that Flotus ran 3rd in the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup at Royal Ascot last week. That has truly franked the form, and it does suggest that Sense of Duty could be a very exciting horse going forward. Thing about it, it's never run on the all-weather. I'm sure it will have worked on an all-weather strip at William Haggis's, but it's up in class and it's against older horses. So for me, even though it might win, I'm happy to let it go and win, but I wouldn't be backing it at 2-1, and that's what's being offered at the moment. Now, against it, the principal horses include Carl Burke's Spycatcher. Carl had a brilliant Ascot with those 2 juvenile winners, and he's also had further success this week on a number of occasions, including in a very good race at Carlisle midweek. Now, he's put cheek pieces first time on Spycatcher, which might sharpen it up, but it's a good horse, second in the Duke of York Stakes Group 2 in May, and it didn't stay the 7 furlongs it appeared last time out. It also have all-weather form. It's an all-weather listed winner, so it's very much respected. Now, one of the real class horses in the race is Ebro River for Hugo Palmer, who I think could be very dangerous. A Group 1 winner last year as a 2-year-old, winning at the Curragh, and its most recent start saw it finish just out of the money in France in a Group 3, but it was only beaten half a length in one of those dashes to the line that they have in France. So I think it's a horse who very much is a danger. How it fares on the all-weather remains to be seen, but it is an interesting runner. Well, Bielsa, who I fancied to go well at Ascot last week when he was a non-runner, he's going to take his chance here, but he is very much an unknown quantity and has a bit to find on the figures on the all-weather. Now, for me, the standout horse here at the odds is Glen Shiel. Glen Shiel is my choice for Archie Watson and Holly Doyle, who both enjoyed a marvellous time of things at Royal Ascot, and of course Holly winning the French Oaks. And I think they're going to team up and have a big chance here with Glen Shiel, who is a Group 1 winner, won on soft ground, of course, at Ascot, a Group 1, but he was a non-runner last week because of the fast ground at Ascot. He was due to go, of course, in the Platinum Jubilee. Now, he has run well this season, solid runs, if unspectacular, at Haydock, and then in a Group 2 at the Curragh last time. But although Glen Shiel is a Group 1 winner on the turf, he's got very good form on the all-weather. He's 3 from 5 on the all-weather, and all those wins have come at Newcastle. He loves this track, does Glen Shiel, loves the Tappiter, and on the ratings, he's the clear pick. So I think back at a course he loves, the trip is ideal, the surface is ideal. He's obviously been ready to run for a while. He was going to go last week. He's got Holly Doyle on board. I think Glen Shiel has a massive chance and is tremendous each way value. I think 6-1 each way offered at the time of this recording for 4 places with Bet365. I've got to say, if I was making the book, I'd be reluctant to offer more than half those odds. So I think 6-1 each way is really good value for Glen Shiel, 225 at Newcastle. And then to our only selection away from Newcastle. This is at the Curragh, the 235, the 1 mile listed race, the Celebration Stakes. There are 10 runners on good ground. It is a trappy race. It's for horses who kind of haven't quite hit the heights in Group 2 and 1 races, but are still very talented. And a perfect example of this is Jim Bolger's Wexford Native, around 130 favourite at the moment with most firms, unraced at 2, so late maturing, but making up for lost time now at 3. Indeed, on Saturday, it's scheduled to have its 5th race in 12 weeks. Now, it was an excellent 4th to Native Trail in the Irish 2000 Guineas. That was a brilliant run. But it didn't run that well at Ascot last time out behind Curragh. Only last week in the St James's Palace Stakes. Had a hard race there. I just wonder whether it's able to take advantage of this really big drop in class. If it hadn't have run at Ascot, I would have been very sweet on Wexford Native. Now, an interesting runner is Johnny Murtaugh's Radebarg. Now, this horse, this trainer, Johnny Murtaugh, of course, great jockey, and doing really well as a trainer. He's won 2 of the last 5 renewals of this race, so he knows what's needed to win it. And this horse was a 3-time handicap winner last year for Roger Varian in England. Joined Johnny Murtaugh in March of this year, and then a week later won the Irish Lincolnshire for him off a mark of 98. 11 days later, it went and won a Tipperary conditions race, good race, and then it was 8th at Longshot last time out. The horse, though, although it's won on quicker ground, is definitely better on soft ground. And I think this is its toughest task to date. So I'm opposing Radebarg for those reasons. Now, Ger Lyons, another cracking trainer, he trains Straight Answer for Juddmonte. This one was only 6-1, remember, last October to win the Group 1 Dewhurst Stakes at Newmarket. Things have changed since then. He finished last of 8 that day to Native Trail. But his latest run, when the 2-length second to Dr. Zenf at Leopardstown over 7 furlongs, was by no means a disgrace, and he won't be far away. But I'm very sweet on the filly in this race, the 4-year-old filly, Emphatic Answer, trained by Joseph O'Brien, who is just having a wonderful run of form. And the very exciting young Irish jockey, Dylan Brown McMonagle, is on board. Now, he's a jockey that I believe could go all the way. He could become a champion in Ireland one day. Now, this Emphatic Answer, opposed to one or two of this in this race that seem to be trying to sort of recapture old glories, is very, very progressive. It won a Curragh handicap last July of just 84. And then was second at Naas in a listed contest in October of 94. Then reappearing this season, it finished first to the recently retired Mother Earth, a close fourth. That was in a Group 3 at the Curragh in March. And then you can ignore its run after that. It was in the heavy ground behind Radebarg at Tipperary. It doesn't like heavy ground, and it got stuck in the mud. But last time out, it bounced back on a better surface. And this was a very eye-catching run. Emphatic Answer finished a really good next second to Pearls Galore in a Group 2 at the Curragh last month. And that is excellent form, now rated at 104, a £20 improvement over the last 12 months. And I think there could be more to come. And Emphatic Answer has plenty going for it. It's run its best race to date last time out. It's for a yard in form with a very good jockey on board, and 5-1 offered each way at the time of this recording with both Sporting Index and William Hill. And I think I'll be surprised, very surprised, if Emphatic Answer is out of the frame. So I do think it is a bet to nothing. And I think there's every chance we could see it winning here at the main expense, probably, of Wexford native. And then I take you back to Newcastle for my final two selections. And the 255 is the consolation race for the Pitman's Derby. It's the Northumberland Vase. Now, it's over 2 miles on the Taberner Standard to slow, 19 runners. And this one is one of those pay your money and take your chance races, because they're betting 13-2 the field. The joint favourites that I'm seeing are Evaluation, Zealandia. Evaluation is trained by Keith Dalglish, a trainer I much admire. And this horse is on a 5-timer. He's been really well placed. All his 4 wins have come on turf of late, but he does have winning form on the all-weather, having scored at Lingfield over 2 miles in the past. He has gone up £21 for this run of 4 wins, and that includes a £5 penalty for his latest win. But it has an obvious chance. Zealandia is trained by Ian Williams, and this one is a bit of a dark horse. It's an ex-French horse who made its debut for Ian Williams just a couple of weeks ago at York in the Lady Riders mile and a half race, and it won there in good style. It's got a £5 penalty, but it's going up in trip by half a mile, so I'm not really sure quite what to expect. And then of the others, well, the only other one in single figures is the 8-1 shot Mellow Magic for Andrew Balding, who's gone close when placed at Goodwood a couple of times over 2 miles in the last few weeks. We also have Huey Morrison running Raven's Ark, who could improve for the step back up to 2 miles, while Auriferous is the second of Andrew Balding's runners. And this one has run well both starts on the all-weather in 2022, including only beaten half a length when second over 2 miles at Kempton. But given all the above, I'm prepared to take a chance here at a fair price on a horse called Smart Champion. He's trained by David Simcock and is the mount of Luke Morris, a horse with a poor strike rate, this. Gotta say it, he doesn't win very often. 2 wins from 24 races, but he does have ability. He needs things to fall right for him. What is interesting is that one of those 2 victories came over this very 2-mile course and distance, and that was in February of 2020 off a mark of 83. Now, his most recent all-weather start also saw him run really well over at Southwell, where he was beaten just a nose back in April, and he wasn't disgraced last time out in a very muddling race at Goodwood. It was one of those races where they dawdled for about a mile and 5 furlongs and then just sprinted the last 3 furlongs, which didn't suit Smart Champion. So you can ignore that particular effort. Now, the thing about him is that this is a horse who's always run his best races when he has a strong pace to aim at. And I think that's what he's almost certain to get in this 19-runner field. And he'll be able to be settled, I think, middle to rear of the field and then start to make his ground through horses inside the last quarter mile. And I'm very optimistic he's going to run well. And originally 14-1 when I looked earlier this Friday morning, that has gone. He is now best priced 12-1 each way for 5 places with both William Hill and Bet365. So 12-1 each way is my choice. Smart Champion in the Northumberland Vase, Newcastle, 255. And so that takes me on to the final race for this particular Saturday, a race I've attended many times and worked at. I've commentated on it. I've returned the SP for it. In the past, I've done the in-running comments for it, you name it. I love being at the Northumberland Plate. Won't be there this time, though. It is 3:30 Newcastle, 20 runners at £150,000 in prize money, and it's standard to slow, of course. Now, the fascinating horse, as he was last year, is the excellent stayer, the Group 1 winner, True Sham, who has got a huge weight that we don't really see these days on the flat very often, 10 stone 8. He's got Holly Doyle on board. He was twice a non-runner at Ascot last week. He was going to go in the Gold Cup. It was too quick. And then he was going to go in the Queen Alexandra. He didn't go in that. It was too quick. He's got to give away between 19 and 30 pounds to his other 19 rivals. Now, this is a huge task. And, you know, of course, if it was level weights, it'd be odds on by a long way. But it isn't. It's a handicap, and weight does stop horses, as we well know. And it stopped him last year under 9 stone 13. Admittedly, it was probably a better quality field last year, but he was only 6 under 9 stone 13. He's £2 higher now. And I think this is really all about giving him a good race. I'm sure if his chance is there, they'll go for it. But it's all about getting him ready for the Goodwood Cup coming up in about 4 weeks' time. So I'm against True Sham, even though I'm sure he's going to run well. Now, another big fancy is Rodzinski for Hugo Palmer. He was 6 in last year's Cesarewitch. He won at Ripon in April of this year. And then he was a really good close third in the Chester Cup, only beaten a length or so. And Harry Davis claims £5. So the pound he's gone up since Chester is very much negated by young Harry's claim. Now, he really does have a chance. But on the figures, the horse that has a better chance is James Chapelheim's Uber Cool, who I already have noted has seen back from 33-1 on Thursday night, and now Friday late morning he's down to 20-1 Uber Cool. And I think the reason for this is, one, Jane Chapelheim enjoying a great season. Secondly, this horse was runner-up to Rodzinski in Ascot in October, and is now £15 better off for 4 lengths. So that is a huge weight pull with Rodzinski. So if you fancy Rodzinski, you've got to give Uber Cool a second look. And the only thing is that just tempers my enthusiasm for him is that he's had 2 runs on the all-weather and he hasn't placed either time. The horse goes well fresh. It's first time out this season, and he could be a lively outsider, especially with the money coming for him. Others with claims, well, very briefly, Sir Mark Prescott, Summer's Night. I think he'll be better for his Newmarket reappearance. Charlie Appleby's Bandanelli has won his last 2 on the all-weather. Brian Ellison dreams of winning this race. He's gone close a few times. His Smooth Operator was a very close third over course and distance in the all-weather marathon championships here, a valuable race in April, and has targeted this race ever since. And Andrew Balding's Valley Forge, who won last year's Melrose Handicap at York and has recently won at Haydock, is a horse in very good form, but he makes his all-weather debut. So it has to be seen quite how he transfers his form to the South. So those are the horses that I've been considering. But in the end, my choice is All Right Sunshine. All Right Sunshine is trained in Scotland by Keith Dalgleish and is the mount of Billy Garrity, who's very capable, riding both on the flat and over the jumps. Now, this horse is a very capable horse, an 8-time winner. And although he's never won on the all-weather in 4 attempts, that really doesn't tell the full story. So just bear with me a moment or two. He's run well his last 3 starts on turf, so we know he's in form. And that included last week at Royal Ascot when he was a 40-1 chance. He didn't get a clear run 2 furlongs out, and then he stayed on well in the 1.75 Copper Horse handicap to finish 4th behind Get Shirty. That was a really good effort from All Right Sunshine, who would have got closer with a clear run. Now, previously, he'd been a 1.5 third to Valley Forge at Haydock, and he reopposes that horse on £4 better terms. On a point of handicapping there, he's got to go very close to Valley Forge at least. But the thing that really turns me on to his chance is last year's race. This very race last year, if you have the opportunity to look at a review, possibly here on YouTube or elsewhere, then watch this horse, because he's travelled into the home straight and down past the 3 furlong from home marker like the likely winner. He was absolutely cantering. And then 3 times he was bumped trying to go for different gaps, which kept closing on him. And then eventually when he got in the clear, he stayed on towards the near side in what was a blanket finish. He finished 10th, but he was only beaten just over 4 lengths. I'm convinced if those gaps, even one of those 3 gaps had come for him at the right time, he will probably have finished in the frame at least. He runs off the same mark as last year of 99, and I think he's got a massive chance if he has the luck in running, which of course you always need, and he wasn't needing life. It's always about a little bit of luck. 20-1 were the odds on offer when I wrote my notes earlier this morning. It's gone, and so now the best price is the 18-1 offered each way, with William Hills, who are quite impressively off 7 places. So 7 places offered William Hill, All Right Sunshine, in the Northumberland Plate, the 3:30 at Newcastle on Saturday. So that's it for the end of year 2. Thanks for your support. Let's hope these run well for our figures for June and the end of year 2. As I said, lots of changes coming up, but I'll stay with you here, of course, on YouTube at Sportsbet. But do look forward to an enhanced service and some great interaction between me and you on a new service that we'll be outlining in more detail in due course. But for now, from me, Paul Alster at Sportsbet TV, have a great weekend's racing. Bye-bye for now.